The morning began like any other on the set of Highland Echoes, the new film that reunited Heughan and Caitriona Balfe for the first time in years. The crew was bustling, the lights were bright, and the sounds of technicians echoed throughout the studio. No one expected that, just a few hours later, an emotional conversation between the two stars would leave the entire crew stunned and become the subject of discussion for weeks to come. For several days, Sam seemed different. He smiled less, joked less, and often stood alone behind scenes. Caitriona, always perceptive, easily noticed the change, but never asked him directly. She just silently observed, occasionally sending him a questioning look, which Sam usually avoided. That morning, with the early morning sunlight shining through the thick curtains, Sam appeared earlier than usual. He walked into the break area, where Caitriona was rereading the script. The atmosphere immediately became inexplicably tense. Caitriona looked up and asked softly, "You came so early?" Sam looked at her. His deep eyes seemed to contain many things that had been suppressed for too long. "We need to talk." That sentence made not only Caitriona, but also the people standing around unconsciously silent. Not because they knew what happened, but because they felt that something very serious was about to be revealed. Caitriona put down the script, adjusted her sitting posture, trying to maintain her usual calmness. "What's the matter?" she asked softly, her voice low but warm. Sam didn't answer right away. He took a deep breath, as if gathering all his courage. "I've been thinking for a long time, and I can't keep silent anymore, Caitriona." At that moment, everyone held their breath. "Is there something I need to know?" she continued to ask. Sam looked straight into her eyes, no longer avoiding them. "I feel like it's time. I have to reveal your true face." The silence continued. All eyes in the room were on the two of them. Caitriona was stunned by that statement. But what shocked everyone more was the sudden smile that appeared on Sam's lips afterward. Not a mocking or angry smile, but a smile full of emotion, as if he was about to say something that had been weighing on his heart for a long time. "I want to say something that you probably never thought I would realize," Sam said, his voice low but clear. "Your true face, Caitriona, is someone who always sacrifices too much for others." The entire crew could hardly believe their ears. Caitriona's eyes widened. "What are you saying, Sam?" He moved closer, placing a stack of papers in front of her, backstage notes, emails, and messages Caitriona had sent to crew members, all of them expressing a quiet concern she had never revealed. "You think I don't know?" Sam continued. "That you stood up for a few young, new crew members when they were under pressure? That you wouldn't allow anyone on the crew to be treated unfairly? That you quietly donated money to support a crew member who was struggling?" A few crew members began to cry. They realized Sam was exposing the kindness of the woman standing before them. Sam opened the stack of papers, reading line by line, as if wanting everyone to understand exactly what he meant. This was an email she'd sent to the producers asking them not to let the crew work excessive overtime. This was a text message she'd sent to check on a lighting crew member's health. This was an anonymous expense that everyone thought was from the studio, but was actually hers. Caitriona blushed, not with embarrassment, but with emotion. "Sam," she said softly, "you didn't have to do that." Sam shook her head. "You've always done good things quietly, without anyone knowing. But I think they deserve to know who you really are. And I don't want you to stay behind the scenes, bearing all the pressure alone." In that moment, Sam's eyes lit up the room. The atmosphere was completely different now. No longer tense, but instead, a warmth that enveloped them. "Are you always watching me like this?" Caitriona asked, half surprised and half touched. Sam chuckled. "We've been working together for so long, Kate. I've seen all the things you try to hide from the world, and I think it's time you knew they weren't invisible." The crew began to whisper, not out of shock, but out of overwhelming emotion. Sam continued. "You once said, being kind isn't about being recognized, it's about making a difference. But sometimes the kindest people need to be protected from the pressure that kindness brings. And I want to be the one to do that." That statement made not only Caitriona, but also everyone watching fall silent. Caitriona gently placed her hand on the pad. "You know, Sam, I never thought you would say these things. Sam smiled. Did you always think I was heartless? I thought you only focused on work. Sam stepped closer, looking at her seriously. Actually, I observe you more than you think. The whole room was so quiet that you could hear each person's breathing. A member of the crew suddenly burst into tears, making the atmosphere even more touching. After a few seconds of silence, Caitriona smiled gently, somewhat shy, but genuine. I don't know what else to say, Sam. Thank you for seeing me in a way that few people have. Sam replied in a small but determined voice. I want everyone to know that behind Caitriona Balfe's strong, professional image is an extremely kind heart. And that is the true face that I want exposed today. The whole crew responded with a thunderous applause, making Caitriona so emotional that she had to turn away to wipe away her tears. That day's shoot became an unforgettable day for everyone present. Not because of the tension as everyone thought, but because of Sam's unexpected exposure. An exposure of the kindness, sacrifice, and noble nature of the woman he had worked with for a decade. When the shoot ended, Sam stepped closer and whispered to Caitriona, from now on, don't hide what makes you wonderful anymore. The world deserves to know. Caitriona looked at him, her eyes sparkling.
Thank you, Sam.
And thank you for always knowing me better than I let on. They both smiled, as if they had just passed through a door that had been closed for too long, a door that opened to deeper trust, a stronger bond, and a new chapter in their journey together, whether on screen or off.